everyone, welcome to an episode of The Apprentice.
Like, everyone knows about the Philippines now.
What does it mean to be Filipino British?
British Filipinos, fresh Filipinos.
Oh my god, yeah.
The Fobs, I was aware that we have to have those two different identities.
3, 2, 1, action.
I just want to have like open chats that are just like naked.
My name is Jem.
I'm Amir.
I'm Janine.
Welcome to another episode of What's the Chika?
Hello.
Today we have the guys from Plural Studios joining us.
Welcome, guys.
Please
Hello.
introduce
Thank
yourselves.
you for having us. I'm Troy Argones, co-founder of Plural Studios.
Yeah, I'm Jordan Pinto. I'm the other half of Plural Studios.
The other half. Who's the better half?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Hasn't been decided.
So thanks for coming on, guys. Shall we start with kind of like your early years? So were you guys born here in England?
Yeah.
So you're British, British
Filipinos.
Filipinos.
British Filipinos.
Whereabouts? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in West London, Labrador Grove area. There's a lot of Filipinos down there. My upbringing and background basically is the fact that I've got twin brothers, one twin brother, sorry, and I've got an older brother as well. So I kind of saw like my older brother grow up, and I saw his side of his generation hang out with that side of Filipinos, and then I've got my twin brother, and we hung around with I think there's like 8-year gap. So we've got
you and your older brother.
yeah. So there's a different generational gap. I wouldn't say generational gap, but like there's a nice gap where I can see one side and we can see the other side, basically.
What's your older brother's side? Was he born in the Philippines?
No, he was born here. He was born here. We were all born in like Paddington.
Wow.
St. Mary's. Yeah.
What was the
London.
difference then, do you think, with the Filipinos he kind of grew up with?
I mean, I don't really want to say too much.
It's
I don't really know what he got up to, but from the stories that I've heard,
Was it rough?
it was rough.
Especially in Grove.
Yeah.
Grove was quite rough
Yeah, it
back
was
then.
quite, but then again, like Labrador Grove, I didn't really hang around in Labrador Grove, nor did my brothers. We was all scattered around. Like we used to go to East London, a little bit of North London, but we spent our days in like Central London. You know, we just used to go out and just hang out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy?
I was born here. The first from my dad's side of the family to be born in this country. He's from Camden. My mum is from she grew up in North London as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I grew up most of my life in Camden and Tottenham.
Oh.
But yeah, I got really connected with the Filipino community because my grandparents on both sides of the family, they they made an effort to make a big network of friends here. So, you can imagine every weekend going to different parties, different gatherings,
So both your grandparents are here as well?
Well, my dad's side, they passed away a few years ago, rest in peace. On my mum's side, my grandparents are still here.
Oh, wow, that's well nice.
Yeah, they're constantly back and forth between here and the Philippines. But yeah, I grew up just going to different. It's funny because now I meet loads of adults like my age that I used to see them in parties when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful thing of being dragged around to these parties. Often you'd be complaining on a day like, I can't be bothered to go to another one, and bless loads of aunties that I don't know who they are. But in hindsight, no, it helps for us as well as a business, knowing more people, because you want to know as many people as possible. But it's nice. And then myself as a teenager, getting to know the Filipino community, dancing especially was my thing. It's how I met my wife.
Big up
Yeah.
Katie.
Yes.
What was it called?
Do you want to show us a bit?
No, that's all right. Those days are over. Those days are over.
No, but what was your group called?
Well, the first group that I was part of was called the Fobbits. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh no, she remembers.
Did you perform at Barrio?
No, we didn't. We did
That's definitely one of those things where people
Yeah.
You perform at Barrio.
That was the thing. Do you know what was weird is I know most Filipinos that were dancing did like the stuff like Eurofil and like barrier and stuff like that. I never done any of those things, but we would go to loads of debuts. We performed a couple of them, and then we did Pinoy Extravaganza competition, which is where I met my wife for the first time. She was in a opposing crew.
Oh, that's a love story.
Did you guys battle it out?
Well, they placed higher than us, I believe.
Oh, is
we was kind of the worst, but yeah, no, those were fun times. But you know, socially, that's where you get to meet loads of people. So even though I was North London based and I had my North London friends, those sort of things allowed me to create friends across the whole of London, except for South London. No, but I've got nothing against South London, but you know, I don't know if you feel like the Filipino South London community kind of stays separate to the North
this
London.
I don't know
Association.
much about.
Yeah,
I don't
I.
know a lot of
Oh,
South
no
London
idea.
Filipinos.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I used to travel all the way to like Peterborough, Scotland for drink
Whoa.
cups.
Wow.
Yeah, like not Scotland. That's an
Scotland.
exaggeration. I think I went to Bristol, Peterborough, because there's loads of Filipino communities.
There's loads in Bristol.
And Kim's very like social
Oh,
butterfly,
yeah.
so she'll take me to all these drink
Peterborough.
cups.
Where
but
is Peterborough?
It's not
It's
that
like up
far.
north.
it's not
slightly.
as far.
Oh.
Watford,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
always in Watford for drink cups, but I didn't know
Right.
any South London
Yeah,
Filipinos.
yeah. We want to meet. We want to meet you guys.
Yeah.
South London.
Yeah.
Comment down below from South London. So how did you two meet?
Oh, again, same thing. Like I swear, the community we kind of knew each other.
Yeah. I mean, well, our barbering. Yeah, I think you started barbering first.
Yeah.
I think a year before. When did you start barbering?
No, I was end of 2012.
Oh, okay. So you've been
Yeah.
doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then I picked up in 2015. I mean, I graduated Hertfordshire.
Is it?
Hertfordshire
With Johnny? Yeah, he did say this
yeah,
actually.
yeah. We was in this. Yeah, we go. Me and Johnny go way back, like to secondary school. But obviously, we went to Hertfordshire together. My twin brother went there as well.
Yeah.
They went to the creative side. I was on the business sides. But I was cutting a lot of my cutting a lot of my mates' hair at uni. I was
it?
doing my
That's
own
where it
hair. I had a
started.
top knot before, and then
I
I was
remember
just,
your top knot.
skin fading myself, and then I used to cut a lot of my mates' hair there. And then, you know, when I graduated uni, I was like, should I go into like a marketing job, which I graduated in,
Yeah.
or should I just like barber for a year and see what it's like? Because I really enjoyed it, and you know, I searched around to see where I can get my qualifications in barbering just to get the foundations of it. You know, I did a barbering course. I think Troy did a barbering course as well.
Yeah. Well, we went to the same school,
Yeah.
just at different times.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you knew each other and you were in the same space, but
Yeah. I mean, I already knew of him and his brother because, like, the Filipino twins.
yeah, they're the Filipino twins in London.
Do you know what? Yeah, we always
You guys
get
were the Filipino twins.
the twins. What, Darren and Jordan? Yeah.
I remember, like,
everyone knows us.
the first time I heard about it, because we had a lot of mutuals. I was already barbering for a couple of years, and people started telling me, yeah, you know, there's another Filipino barber. He's coming up. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, like, I think it was only a short time after, Jordan popped in to Champs where I was working at the time, and I cut his hair, and we were just having a conversation about where he was going with it. But yeah, like, that was like the first time we started talking to each other. We used to pop up at loads of different barbering events.
Yeah, conventions and all.
Yeah, because we was working for different companies at the time. He had his own journey. I had my own journey. But then,
Kinda met in the middle.
yeah, kind of
Started working together.
Yeah,
So it kind of just happened, basically.
yeah. It was quite organic, to be fair. I
Yeah.
think after I'd sort of moved around places, I even did a bit of teaching for a while. Ended up back in a barbershop, and then
What was you teaching? Sorry.
teaching barbering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's all. Did you go to uni and study anything that's got to do with it?
No. My barbering journey was a bit. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Like I just did retail for a good few years. It wasn't until I became a parent where I was just like, actually, I need to do something that I feel is more fulfilling for me. Like, there's nothing. I have nothing against retail, but I didn't feel like I could.
Fulfilled.
Yeah, I didn't
There's no
feel
progression
fulfilled.
as well as
That's
much,
it.
I think. in
Yeah,
retail.
I think it's a lot tougher. But I had this sort of desperation to achieve something more for myself, especially as a dad. So then that's where I'd always cut my own hair and stuff, same as Jordan, and I've cut a few of my cousins' hair and a couple friends. But I thought, you know what, why not take it seriously as a career? So then that's where at around 22 years old, I decided to take a barbering course and go down that route. Yeah. It was weird. It was only a few years after that my mum told me, she go, you know, your great Lola was a barber too.
Is it?
Back in the
Oh,
Philippines.
really?
Yeah. So
so
she's like,
cool.
oh, I think you inherited his hands.
Wow.
Yeah, no, but
Were there any barbers in your family?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Yeah. It's, you know, with like the Filipino Asian culture, you know, barbering, it wasn't really seen as a career choice.
Yeah.
for real.
So we kind of broke the mold. I mean, you know, where me and Troy are at now, especially where we are with Plural Studios, you know, we've made it to where we are now through hard work. And I think that's with a lot of Filipinos, we do go through a lot of hardship, and especially looking at our parents. So like, hard work's in our blood, really.
That
But
work ethic.
Yeah, definitely.
But my parents were quite supportive. I mean, they didn't really like question what I was going to do, as long as they supported it, and you know, I was happy with the decision. Then
Oh.
Yeah.
What did your parents do?
my dad was
Or what they doing now, at least?
my dad was a chef at the Intercontinental.
Oh, hotel.
Yeah, the hotel. Yeah, but they moved. I think they moved from the Philippines. But I think back in the, I want to say 70s.
Oh,
I
wow.
want to say 70s. My parents are like probably first generation coming here.
Okay.
And then,
70s.
yeah, and then your parents are probably second.
My
right?
my parents are a bit younger. Yeah, they
Yeah.
came over here as teenagers.
Yeah.
They went
Wow.
they went secondary school here.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I've ever met a Filipino whose parents went to
Same.
school.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't know really.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think there's a generation of us that's like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's a couple of my uncles that have got the thickest Cockney accents because they grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
whereas
right?
Yeah, no,
my parents got a Polish, you know.
Is it?
Well, my mum's got a bit of an American twang to it, you know, like our Philippines got.
That's
slight
me.
American.
So where are you
All the
guys
fobs.
from in Philly? Where are you guys?
So
Just going back.
my dad and his family, they grew up in Makati.
Okay.
His parents are originally from the Visayas region.
Ah.
So Visayan originally, but Makati grown. And then my mum is from Pangasinan. So I'm
Yeah.
half Ilocano,
Half Bisaya.
half Bisaya.
Nice.
But both my parents are from Pangasinan.
Yeah.
Is it Ilocano then?
Illies.
Elise.
Illy, is that what they call her? Ah, so
Do you
Illy.
guys know how to speak?
Do you know what? I don't really. I didn't really speak it growing up.
Yeah.
My parents just spoke to me in straight English.
English.
But you know, when the thing is, when your parents are like socializing, I don't know with Ilocano people, but it's quite of a shouty dialect.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So you kind of pick up on what's going on with like the
Tone
hand
and
gestures
the-
and the shoutiness. But you kind of pick up on certain words, and you kind of like make up like what they're talking about.
saying.
So to this day, I mean, I don't really understand it or speak it as well as a lot of people, but you know, I can get by.
Yeah.
I don't know Tagalog, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Tagalog's a
more
foreign
Ilocano
language.
than you know
Yeah,
Tagalog,
exactly.
right? Yeah. I mean, I understand most of it, so I can get by. I can
Ilocano or Tagalog?
Tagalog.
Okay.
But Ilocano, nah.
Nah.
No. I mean, like I said, because my parents were teenagers when they came here, I feel like they really made an effort to integrate into British culture. And with their kids, myself and my sister, they didn't really force us to. I mean, like, apart from the food that we ate and the respect that we gave to our family and our elders, they didn't really force the Filipino culture on us.
That's so interesting because I find now that us millennials that have grown as a second generation in, let's say, in the Western world, a lot of the millennials are now wanting to teach their kids the language
Right.
because they missed out. So they
Yeah.
feel like in case of plan B, we have to like go back home. You need to be learning language. Is that the same with you guys? Do you feel like with your kids?
Oh man, I would love for my sons to learn it, but there's 3 languages that they have to try and navigate.
True.
And
Yeah.
and for me, I mean, like when they're around their grandparents, they're all speaking to them in English.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for my sons to learn Visayan or Ilocano or Tagalog, but I really don't see it happening. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, unless someone says, yeah, just send them back. Leave them there. Leave them there.
To college.
Yeah, but isn't the Philippines now like they just speak English? Or it's like the first language over there.
It's like
It's-
Taglish has
is.
become a
Taglish,
thing out there.
yeah,
now.
definitely.
Yeah.
I thought this as well, but then I went back recently, and my fiance is Filipino, but he can't speak. Like his dialect is Chavacano, but he can't speak Tagalog or Chavacano. He can understand it. And he was like, "It'll be fine. I'll be able to get by."
Yeah.
And like he really struggled,
Did he?
which I found really surprising as well, because Filipinos do speak like good English.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know if it was his accent or,
It's
but
the
like no one
accent.
could understand him.
Oh, yes,
man.
the accent most
Like
of the
even
time.
ordering at Chowking, I saw the
Really?
poor lady, and she was literally like,
Huh?
I had to come over and be like, ah.
Because the British accent is different, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like
Yeah.
they understand American, but when you're like water, and they're like,
Yeah.
what?
Especially Cockney. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they would
Yeah.
definitely struggle.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? I think it's nice. It's really nice to try and teach them if you can, but it's also really hard. Like with Mikey, my son, we don't speak Tagalog at home. My mum does, but even to me, she speaks in English. But like. When Mikey had a bit of a speech delay, the first thing they said was like, "Is there another language happening in your household?"
Right.
Because that's usually like the first reason why there could be a speech delay. And I was like, not really, but actually then I realised my mum does speak to him in Tagalog sometimes. Like he wouldn't have a clue what she's saying, but she would speak to him. So I guess it's quite difficult also to try and do that here.
Do you feel like, because when we sent our kids to school, there was like letters going around because there was like big ethnic communities in Perryville where we live.
Yeah.
They make it a thing to tell the parents, can you make sure you're talking to your kids English at home
Really?
so that they don't
Really?
struggle in school? Did they do the same with?
No, but that might just because Mikey's not in like proper
Right.
school yet, maybe.
Right.
But that's I never knew that.
I feel
That's a
like
thing.
if that's what they're saying to us now,
Yeah.
maybe it must have been worse back when we were kids, as in like telling our parents, you know, if you want your kid to do well in school, you have to speak to him in English. I kind of like often think that maybe that's the disconnect there, that why our parents didn't force us
Right.
to learn a language. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Big. It also, I think, it goes back to what your parents have done to integrate to, you know, the British culture, so that it's an easier flow for you to
Right.
just grow up and be okay in this society,
Yeah.
as opposed to have that dual identity.
Yeah.
Where when you're at home you're different, and then when you're out it's different. Because I
Yeah.
feel like with me, those different identities, I came here as a teenager too.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like when I leave home, I'm a different identity. I have to be British, have to understand, have to have that accent.
Like
Right.
get by or be seen.
Exactly, to be seen and understood. So it could be that. So they
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
thought, you know what, let's just teach the kids English because it's much easier for them to then integrate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, my parents have been, you know, when I was born, my parents have already been living here for years. So, I mean, you know, when they're working, obviously I've got to speak English.
Yeah.
And with my older brother, I'm assuming that they must have been speaking English to him throughout his childhood. I think at that point, you know, there was no reason to speak our dialects. I think growing up as well, you know, I didn't really visit the Philippines till in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
but
that was
this
your
is
first
the
time.
thing. This is
Yeah.
the
Your
thing that I've
wedding?
never-
No. So
Yeah,
Friend of
I
ours.
went to the Philippines for the first time to cut hair actually for one of my friends' wedding, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was nice for me. It was nice to step foot into
Like motherland.
motherland and step foot outside the airport and be like, right, wow, like barbering took me back to my homeland,
yeah.
and I get to experience it as well.
Crazy.
That's
Really
amazing.
cool.
It was a beautiful moment for
Yeah.
me to be able to do that. But like growing up wise, my parents never thought to go back to the Philippines. I don't know why. But
Did that
they-
make you crave the culture or your roots more?
I don't know. It's a weird one because when I was actually in the Philippines, I was like, you know, it's nice to just embrace the culture. But going there for the first time, obviously, I felt like a tourist anyway, because you know, I don't really know too much about it. And whereas, like, I know a lot of people growing up, you know, they went as kids, you know, they've experienced their hometowns, whereas I only experienced like a little bit of Manila, a little bit of Boracay. So, but yeah, growing up, I didn't really think to be like, oh, I want to go to the Philippines. I don't know why. I don't know why I felt like that.
Yeah.
I think my brother is like that as well. He's never been.
Oh, really? Until now?
Yeah, until my older brother's there now, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. He's taking my niece there for the first time.
Maybe it's because you didn't have the integration and your parents didn't really take you there, so there was no memory or there's just basically no memory for you to kind of use as a base to be like, oh, I want to go back there because I remembered this, and that, possibly.
Like you don't really know what you don't.
Exactly. There's
You
no
don't miss what
nostalgia.
you don't know.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it, you know, growing up as well, where my parents are a lot older. You know, I never got to meet my grandparents, both of them. You know, they both passed away before me and my brother were born. I think my dad's dad was actually still alive, but that was probably one of the reasons why we didn't go back to the Philippines, because there's not my family's
no
scattered.
connection there.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
America, you know, UAE and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, Spain.
There's no
so
one to
they're
go back
everywhere.
to pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense.
Yeah, in contrast, I think, have you guys been going, I mean, you was born there, right?
Yeah.
But
Born in Saudi.
Oh, in Saudi?
Then I moved when I was 10 to 13, then moved here.
All right.
There's a jump. Yeah.
But everyone's been going since they were kids, right?
Yeah.
I think that even the first memories of having Jollibee in Philippines is like, it's enough to make you want to go back there.
Did you go back quite a lot growing up?
Yeah, I think my mum made an effort to try and take me back there as much as she could. But yeah, I always loved going back. I think the crazy thing is everyone calls it home, and as much as I love calling it home too, I still feel a bit disconnected. Like,
Okay.
you know, I love to go back there any chance I can get, but Britain still feels more like home to me. Yeah. Still feel a bit like a tourist when I'm there.
Yeah.
And I feel this is the beauty of being British Filipino. There's so many different stories that we covered that I haven't even heard stories like this where, you know, you're sort of second, third generation, that you don't have much of a memory in Philippines, so you feel sort of disconnected. Whereas we've had discussions of the other way around where, you know, it's so colourful, and that's, I think we should celebrate. Because each of our stories are so different just by being Filipino. But yeah.
When someone asks you guys like, where are you from, or what race? No, what's the question?
Where are you from?
Where
are you from?
Where your
Where
where
are
you
your
from?
Yeah. What do
What
you
do you
guys
think?
say?
I say Tottenham.
Shit, I'm from London.
You're from
Yeah.
London. What do you guys say?
I say Philippines.
Yeah, same.
Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, when someone asks specifically, oh no, what country are you from? And I say,
Right.
oh yeah, no, I'm originally Filipino, but no, I grew up in London, born and raised.
Yeah.
We've had this debate before in the studio, whether we classify as British Filipino was just Filipino, right?
Yeah.
And
What was the
was the
outcome?
outcome?
I mean, it was quite heated.
Yeah, because
quite
the question then developed
Ah.
into, are you less Filipino because you're a British Filipino?
I was going to ask this because I think this is quite a hot topic at the moment with the like English era halata thing.
yeah.
Have you guys been made to feel less Filipino, or do you feel less Filipino because you didn't go back so often, or if you can't speak Tagalog, does that make you feel any less Filipino?
I'm not gonna lie, I've never, I never felt like I have the right to call myself a full-fledged Filipino. Like as much as I'm proud of my culture, because I don't even speak any of the dialects from back home. You know, I respect the culture, I understand it. You know, like I know how to act when I'm in a Filipino household. I appreciate the food, but at the end of the day, I feel like if I can't communicate with the mother tongue, then how can I call myself as Filipino as someone who's back home in the Philippines? I'm a British Filipino, and you know I'm proud of that. But yeah, like that's where it got a bit controversial because we had some people in our studio saying no, we're all still Filipino no matter what language you're speaking, which I think is another fair argument. But for me, I don't feel like I'm Filipino, but I'm not as Filipino as someone who's back home.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like some people might have made you feel that, or is that just how you feel?
No, that's just how I feel.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. You like, you know, my uncles back home would tell me, no, I'm as Filipino as they are.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll be like, but you guys can go and have a conversation right in front of me, and I won't understand what
It's
you guys
true.
are saying.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
think
mean?
maybe it's because of the connection that you connect Filipino-ness with communication. If you go beyond the connection of communication and you go to the culture, like what to say during parties, the karaoke, that already is Filipino-ness.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So I guess, yeah, like you said, British Filipino for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think if you go beyond communication, you're definitely still Filipino, I think. We're still Filipino in a way,
Right.
whether you're half, it's still in our blood. I personally think.
Yeah. So you guys have a lot of Filipino friends and that. Did you guys grow up with a lot of Filipino friends?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it strange that like that happens, don't you think? Like all the
You
Filipinos
just-
kind of
yeah.
end up
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
one community.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's true. I think growing up, especially in my teenage years, I used to hang out with a lot of Filipino
Yeah.
people. But
There's loads of Filipinos in Grove, isn't there? Like
Oh,
so
yeah.
many.
Yeah.
but we used to mix with a lot of Filipinos all around London. Not really South London, well. I've never been like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But like speaking about growing up Filipino and being with Filipino people, I think it got to. I think my college years and uni years, I kind of stepped away from that.
Okay.
Same,
I think it's because, you know, you're kind of going through your career choices and trying to find out who you are in that sense. And I think within the teenage years, growing up with a lot of Filipino friends, we used to go to a lot of parties, and that's your fun time. It's your fun time era, basically. And then, once you hit college, uni, I didn't disassociate myself with the Filipino culture or Filipinos in general. I just had to find my own path.
Okay.
And so that's when you started to mix with a lot of other people, especially being in Hertfordshire, where I went uni. There were still Filipinos there, but you start to make new friends,
Yeah.
and you kind of experience different cultures and different people, basically.
Do you think it made you like kind of grow and see things differently, like kind of taking yourself out of that?
I think barbering has.
Okay.
Barbering
Yeah,
has
100%.
made me change. I wouldn't say who I am, but made me see like loads of different like life paths of different people. You know, and where I was barbering, like, more West London, like far West London, that Ruislip area.
Yeah.
You know, you got to see a lot of like different culture over there. I think it was when I was working there, I think there was more Asian people, young Asian professionals moving a bit further west because obviously London's expensive. So they're moving just slightly out, but you get to understand different cultures in that sense. Even where we are now in Angel, our customer and client base is just it's a massive mixture of people. And you get to see loads of different like cultures basically.
Yeah. Which that
Oh,
makes
and
you
you
also
can
understand
respect
your own identity as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, funny enough, the barbers that we've got in there are all Filipino.
I think
It's
naturally,
coincidental,
yeah.
right? It's
Yeah, it's
coincidental.
coincidental.
very
yeah.
coincidental.
I
It's
didn't-
not
I
like
didn't-
it's a thing on the
Oh, yeah, you
job
have to tick
description.
No,
Filipino.
it's not. It really isn't like, we need a Filipino barbershop. It's very
Yeah.
coincidental. And even the guys that we've got there who are young, like Angelica and Liam, you know, it's nice to see that they're taking the barbering journey and that career paths, and we want them to progress. And it's nice that we can get to see that and carry on the barbering career for them.
Angelica's great, by the way.
Yeah.
She's done my hair.
Looks good.
Thanks. It's gross. I need to go back to her again.
when you're ready.
So how did Plural Studios come about?
Do you know what?
It was quick, right?
It was. I remember I was working between two shops, and it was the summer of 2019, the summer, literally.
Yeah.
And it was the hottest day of the year, and I was working part-time in the shop with Jordan and part-time in the shop in East London. And the shop in East London had no air conditioning, And I just felt like it was one of the most stressful days of my life. And I think it just dawned on me that, like, we're working this hard for other people. Now, Jordan was working in the other shop on the same day. I called him up at the end. Do you remember the phone call?
Yeah.
I said, bro, like, are you at the shop? Like, yeah. I said, can I get a haircut? He was like, yeah. I said, yeah, I need to talk to you about something. And he's like, all right, cool. So I got to him. I took the central line from one end all the way to the other. So, yeah, it was a long journey, and I was just thinking on this hot-ass train.
Central line as well.
Exactly. Something needs to change. And we sat down and we had a conversation. And I said, bro, what's your vision? Like, where do you want to go with this? Have you ever thought of doing your own thing? And he was just like, yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time. And it was like a very easy conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, should we just do it? Should we just do our own thing? And he was just like, come then, I'm down. And it was from that conversation.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What was the space of time between us having that conversation and Plural Studios opening up? That was
Probably less than a month.
It was less than a month.
Is it? It just happened.
Wow, that's so cool.
Do you know what was crazy? I swear, like, the universe was listening to us, because it was like 2 days later, my cousin sent me a message. Hey, I remember our conversation the other day about you and Jordan. This place has opened up where they are offering rentable workspaces, which is like a warehouse. And it was sort of right in the middle between where I lived and where Jordan was living at the time. So we went to go have a look at it, and that became the first Plural Studios in Acton. We literally went in there, we had a look, and as we was walking out the hallway, we looked at each other, and he's like, are we going to do it? I said, yeah, we're going to do it.
Oh,
And that was it, man. Yeah. That was it.
That is so
It was.
cool.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know about. Were you a bit anxious or nervous?
I was anxious,
Yeah.
but I felt like, to be honest, I don't think I'd ever felt that confident about anything in my life, but I just knew that we was going to make it happen.
I think where we've been barbering for a while now, 5
Yeah.
years, 8 years, 7 years.
But back then, yeah, I'd been in the game 6 years. You was in
Yeah.
there for about 5
5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
I think at that point, your whole 5-year plan, generally.
Yeah.
I think at that point it was like, okay, it's time to make the next move anyway. So
Yeah.
it was quite natural progression for us.
Yeah.
I think it was an easy decision based off where we were in Acton and where I was in Ruislip. We knew that it was kind of easy to transition over there.
Yeah.
And then obviously Ange came along, and I think we hit the ceiling quite quickly where we was fully booked.
It took 2 years, 2 years max.
Yeah.
And then now we got to a point where it's like people are scrambling for appointments, and you have to book 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance.
Wow.
What I can say that what I'm actually proud of, I don't know about you as well, but we opened Plural Studios in September 2019. Couple months down the line, COVID happened.
COVID, yeah.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
So we survived COVID
Yep.
within that space. And as soon as we opened our doors, we was booked in months in advance.
Wow. How did you guys navigate
Yeah.
COVID?
So that was the thing. The first thing we decided was, even though it's a barbering business and a lot of people are cash in hand, they keep everything off the books. It's very just like keep it away from the man sort of thing. Me and Jordan made it a point that we wanted to be as official as possible. So we did all our paperwork, got it all in order, registered our business, made sure that we was as legitimate as possible. And luckily, within the space of time that we had been working, it made us eligible for a grant from the government. So then they gave us the help. And there was many barbershops that we saw that had been open for years, closed down during COVID. And, like, that's why, and even moving forward now, like, every time we want to bring in a new team member, we reiterate the importance of being legitimate. There's so many dodgy businesses out there in general.
No backhanders and
Yeah.
stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, for us as well, I want to inspire the next generation that if you want to be more serious and one day get a mortgage or, have good credit and stuff like that, the first thing you've got to do is be legit as possible.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, and that ultimately is what protected us during the lockdown period. Yeah.
Where do you think you got the clientele? Where did it all start? As in, like, did you have customers that have always gone for you guys and just followed you after you started a business? Or was it social media that pulled? What was, like, where did it all kind of click and you had loads of customers come in or clients?
I think it is a mixture of everything, really. I think the important thing as a barber, for any barber, is that you need to be visible. You need to be accessible. So just making everyone aware that you're available as much as possible makes you more appealing in general. And then the other important thing is that actual customers, not the ones that are liking your posts online and stuff like that. The people that are sitting in your chair are the people that you need to give your like undivided attention to, because those are the people ultimately that are going to sell the business for you. And that goes in anything. It's your customers that you look after first. I always made it a thing that I want my customer to feel like every time I'm doing a service on them, it's going to get better. If it's not, it's never going to drop. It might stay at the same level, but I'm always aiming to make it better. And those are the things that helped me gain more clients. They just told their friends, yo, like, Troy is always going to look after you. He's got enough experience. He can do any hair type. And I don't need to say anything. Like, I just need to wait for them to come through the door. Yeah.
Your reputation.
But I warned my other barbers as well. I said, don't let your customers sit in my chair because they won't go back to you. Like, that's literally, yeah. So, I mean, that's how we build our business. But, like, working with Jordan, this was another positive thing, is that he is so much more in tune with the social media side of things. Like, I'm not that great, if I'm honest. But he showed me things like aesthetic, posting at the right times, like working on the algorithms and stuff like that. And that helped boost the Plural brand way more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think social media now anyway, especially in the barbering scene, blown up massively in terms of like being creative and showcasing your haircuts. I think where there's more users now than there was, like, you know, I think like 5 years ago when I started, I would say 10 years ago when I started barbering. I think a lot of the new generation barbers is like, oh, how did you find me? Oh, through TikTok, through Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of our clients was through word of mouth and people that we knew. And where our loyalty lies with our clients, and our clients are loyal to us, they're the ones bigging us up. You know, where they've been coming to us like 2, 3, 5 years, they'll be like, oh, just come to my boy, and he'll look after them. And then all of a sudden, they're all clients and customers.
Yeah.
I saw this post today. It was really random and came up, and it was like, a survey shows 75% of men are more loyal to their barbers than their partners.
Someone sent me that as well. But it is true. I mean, I've cut hair where I've cut someone, and I'm cutting their son.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you're in when you're in the game, like, for more than a decade, like, I say this to a lot of my customers, that I've been cutting kids that finish secondary school and are in their professional career now. They've gone through uni, and a couple of them are even getting married. How is it like the first time I meet you, you're in a uniform, and then the next time I'm cutting you is you're in your wedding suit? That's crazy.
That's amazing.
And that's what I think I love about barbering as well, is you can actually see everyone's life goals and life milestones.
Their progression in life.
It's amazing to see where I've been cutting a lot of my guys who just finished, graduating from uni, all of a sudden getting married, having kids, buying a house.
Growing up with you guys.
Yeah, they're literally growing up with us. And they're seeing our progression as well. And they're following us with that. So it's like, it's a beautiful, like, energy between our clients. Because, you know, I've been to some of my clients' weddings as well, as not as a barber, but as a guest, because they see us as family and friends.
Oh, that's well nice.
You probably cut them for their first date as well. All the way up until them getting married.
There are a few clients there which who I call friends now, who I've like you said, first date, and all of a sudden they've got kids in it.
That's such a lovely way to think about it.
I feel like with barbering as well, there is some sort of intimacy, isn't it? With
It's
like
intimate.
just your connection as a barber and your customer, like just getting to know each other and
Yeah.
having that conversation. I think
Yeah.
there's that thing with barbershops.
Right.
I think that
It's like a bonding.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Is that
like
right?
bonding, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, people always highlight, the issue that a lot of men, they don't want to open up and they don't want to have deep conversations.
Yeah.
And in our environment, we make it a place where it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
whether you like it or
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you just need to offer that sort of comfort to someone. So it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. I want you to feel comfortable enough in our shop that you can talk about whatever you want. And those are the sort of conversations that create long-term friendships, relationships. And it's another part of what we do that helps us retain our client base, I guess. Yeah.
We've got clients that come in every week or every 2 weeks, and they've said before, it's like, I only, like, obviously I'm getting a good haircut, but I come in for
The
for
conversation.
conversation.
Is
Yeah,
it?
to decompress.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like therapy.
Yeah,
Kind of.
It's
Yeah.
unorthodox therapy. It's like
It is.
it's like behind closed doors therapy. But
Yeah.
speaking about that and the whole intimacy thing, but I feel like barbering in general is a wicked gateway to basically connect other industries.
Yeah.
Say for example, I just graduated in law. We've been cutting a lot of people who have been lawyers for years, and be like, I know this person,
Yeah.
or someone that's in the music industry. Oh yeah, I know this producer, and then
Oh wow.
there's a lot of times where we've pushed opportunities to other people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've collaborated a lot.
Wow.
The old school barbers I used to work with used to say the barbershop is the original Yellow Pages.
Yeah,
Yellow Pages is old school. So now it's like the barbershop is the original LinkedIn.
yeah.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
Yeah. Well,
It is a network, isn't it?
it is.
It's a
yeah.
massive
Wow, I
network.
never thought about it that
I never
way.
thought of
Same.
either.
Yeah.
You're basically doing what we're doing. We're doing the same thing.
Do you guys hook us up? Yeah.
No. I mean, I love the fact that we get to collaborate with, like, for me, this is a new community. So, I've met you three for the first time properly today. And I hope that, people from your networks get to see what we do, and the same for us. That
Yeah.
It's the beautiful
Definitely.
thing of collaboration.
100%.
Yeah.
Agree.
I agree.
So how did you guys, like, just going back to how you started, for people that like might be thinking to start a business and stuff like that, like how did you manage to start it? Like, did it take a lot of money, like investment? Like, how did you just raise it yourself? Was it your own kind of savings to start it off? Did it require a lot? Do you know if that makes sense?
where we got the studio? All we needed, barbering in general, you just need a chair, mirror, and
Yeah.
tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And along the way, we just added a few bits and pieces, in terms of like who we are as a brand,
Yeah.
But
So it was just kind of like the
it was,
rent.
It was quite easy to
It
set up,
really
and-
is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of the wrong message to send to people out there that are
No,
starting.
no, I understand that.
no.
Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, I think mindset-wise, you just need to be able to just take the leap of faith and
Take the risk.
yeah, really jump into it. But I feel like a lot of people nowadays are looking for the shortcuts to success.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people don't spend enough time owning the craft or really
Okay.
getting good at what they're trying to sell. And for me and Jordan, before we were businessmen, we were perfectionists in our craft. Like I would do haircuts that some people would think were good and I would hate them. And I wanted to get to that level where I was happy with everything that I was putting out. And that was the main focus for both of us personally, until we got to that stage where it was just like, okay, we're happy now. Where's the next stage of growth? And that's
Right.
where, like we both learned a lot about business just by throwing ourselves into it. I mean, he studied it somewhat, but I feel like studying it and experiencing it are two different things. And, we're still learning today, innit, bro?
Yeah, barbering, you're never like a master in barbering.
Yeah.
You're continuously learning in that sense. But yeah, in regards to starting a business in terms of barbering, I think a lot of people don't really see the other side of barbering where you've got the quiet days,
Yeah.
Like, how do you juggle it? Like,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, for us, luckily, barbers in general, I think you are your own brand and you are your own, people see you as your brands.
Yeah.
And people come to you because they like your personality, they like your character, and how you get on. So sometimes you can go to a barber and they give you a wicked haircut, but their character and mindset is just like off.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And they start going with negative like comments and whatnot. So for me, it was a lot easier to open up Plural Studios because of my character, and people loved me for who I was. So when I said, I'm opening up, we're opening up our own business. Wicked, when?
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Like you had a clientele before you even started.
We've all had a massive client base, and it goes to show, because we've got a massive client base, is because they loved us who we were and our brand and our character.
Because you guys own it, do you also barber less frequently than the other barbers at your shop, or do you still barber really frequently?
I'm still very passionate about barbering.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still jam-packed every day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be honest, I love it. You know, like before anything, I love cutting hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, while we're trying to build up our shop brand and get the other barbers as busy as possible, I'm happy to still be in the shop and like just be in there as much as possible. I think if we get to a point where the shop is so busy that it doesn't require us to be there as much, I think I might lose my mind a little bit.
Because I was always wondering, because obviously people go to their barbers for that barber.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was always wondering, like, when you become really successful and like, obviously usually in other businesses you would start hiring people. How does that work with barbering? Because obviously you are what's bringing people in. Like, people are coming for you.
When you hire another barber, you see the potential in them, and you know they've got the passion for it. And where they're joining our brands, it's our reputation on the line as well. So it's our responsibility for them to cut at a very, very high standard to where we are. So when we do become too busy for these people, we're like, come and see these guys.
Yeah.
They'll cut your hair the same way as we cut your hair.
Yeah, we proper emphasize the importance with our team to be friendly with everyone in the shop. Like, even if you're not cutting their hair, you want to talk to them because it makes it easier for them for emergency situations where they're like, oh, I can't get in with Troy or Jordan, but I'm always chatting to you. Can you look after me today? Yeah.
I did feel that.
Yeah,
I came in, I didn't really book it. I thought I booked it in advance, and then I turned up and my name wasn't there.
Yeah.
But then you guys just quickly was like, Angelica could do it. And then she was chatting to me. So I loved that whole conversation that we had and just getting to know each other.
Yes. It's
so
working.
I definitely felt it.
It's working, yeah.
But just going back to the whole, I like the fact that you guys, it kind of parallels and mirrors the fact that you guys are sort of like influencers, where you're a brand itself, putting yourselves into a business together, and that's what makes you money, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to see it that way, I
Right.
guess. I don't think I've ever really looked at it that way.
What, as in like you're a brand? pretty
Yeah,
much, but
yeah. I mean, like, I'm always there to rep the brand, but I think my main core focus is just making sure that the service I deliver is good enough to make people want to keep coming back.
Right.
I just want to give something that people can't get enough of, and just making sure that the team reflect that same mindset.
Yeah. It's obvious you guys are really passionate about it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, funny you say that. Is I've had a conversation about like expanding Plural as a brand, because it can go into a clothing brand, for example. Someone said, "Oh, why don't you just go into clothing? Like, Plural Studios would bang as a clothing brand." And then we had another conversation. It was like, "Oh, do you guys see yourself as Plural Studios, or do you guys see yourself as Troy and Jordan?" Because a lot of people say, "Oh, go and see Troy and Jordan, for a haircut."
Yeah.
Right.
But now where we're more central, I personally want to push the Plural brand to be where we are in terms of like high standards in barbering.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, oh yeah, Plural's that barbershop that we go to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Where did Plural Studios?
Yeah.
Where did
Waiting for
Plural
this question.
Yeah, I was
Studios-
waiting for this question.
In short,
My head was in the clouds.
yeah.
Say it that way.
Do you know
As we do in our younger days.
Do you know what was funny? When we was discussing the brand name, it was proper like, I said, Jordan, I can't come up with a name. Like, and he goes, oh, there's this name I've been messing about with for a while. I was like, yeah. He goes, Plural Studios. And like, honestly, at first I was a bit like, all right, yeah, whatever. But then when I started doing research, like, and I was like, plural, what does it actually mean? And when he said it to me, plural, as in we, as in a group, I was like, right. And then I started doing research on the actual word plural. And then I stumbled across pluralism.
Yeah.
And pluralism is, like, in short, the idea of coexistence. No matter where you're from, what your religion is, what your gender, what your beliefs are, we should all exist in harmony.
That sounds like
That
the
is
Kapwa philosophy of Filipino-ness.
Yeah.
Whereas opposite to individualism,
Yeah.
you're
It's
more
just
of
pluralism.
a... Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
pluralism.
Oh, my days.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that word existed.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. So I mean, like once we knew that, and we would have these evening cloudy conversations. But it just made sense. And then when you look at our client base and you look at our clientele and the people that come through the door, it really is pluralism.
Yeah.
And people look at us and yes, we have a Filipino team, not by purpose, by the way. We're happy to hire whoever reflects the same mindset as us. But when you look into our shop and you see a
The
hub
eclectic
of
mix of
so many different cultures walking through our door, it's just a perfect reflection of the name. So
It
yeah.
definitely is.
Wow, I love that.
Same,
That is
huh?
so cool.
No, thank you.
Pluralism.
A lot of people ask like, well, where's plural from? And then we tell them
Yeah.
that. I'm like, oh wow.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, though. Yeah. It's a good soundbite, guys. Thanks. I want to hear horror stories, you know? Like, not horror stories, but like funny stories of, have you got any
Or in the shop.
in the shop with clients?
Oh man,
I
do
mean,
you
we've
know
got
what?
one. We've got one right now, who
Okay.
comes in asking for braids.
Oh no, not like that. You're talking like our own personal experience.
Oh, personal one.
Yeah, I could give one that just happened recently, and I feel kind of bad, man.
We're not gonna name names.
No, but like one of my good friends and clients is a professional actor. So one
Right.
thing that he does on a
Ooh.
regular basis is, especially when he's training for a role, is he'll come in with an accent and talk with it for the whole day,
Is it?
right?
Oh my gosh.
Like, so when he's not doing that, me and him are always throwing accents at each other. And I have developed this persona of like, is like the Filipino bad boy in London. So he's like, yeah, bro, you know, I come to the streets of London, bro. You know, like that, yeah. Like, so like a teenager who's been here only a few years, but
Right.
he's adopted the slang,
Okay.
right? And I was going in, and my mate was dying. He was probably laughing loud, yeah. And then I saw my customer who was waiting for me next. I'd only cut him a couple of times. He was sitting down waiting, but he was super quiet. And then as soon as I went to greet him, yeah, bro, you don't remember me, bro? And I was just like,
Oh.
and I was just like, yeah, give me a second, bro. And then like I took my customer to the back to wash his hair. And I was like, bruv, he's got exactly the same accent, man, as what I've been doing.
You just felt bad.
Yeah,
innit?
I just felt bad, didn't it? And but
Thinking
then
he
like,
might think you're kind of taking the piss.
yeah,
kind
but
of.
then when
Wow.
he sat in my chair, he was all right. He was fine, but I could tell that he was a bit.
Like holding back. a little.
Yeah, he
Didn't
didn't
wanna
want to
speak.
talk much, and I
Yeah.
felt bad. But I was at that point. I gave him the most 110 service I'd ever given. Like, yeah, I said, bro,
Really scumbag.
I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, bro, like I appreciate you coming back, man. And yeah,
Did he come back?
yeah. He's a
Okay.
regular. He's a regular.
I don't think I've got any horror stories, you know.
Have
No?
you ever
Not
given
off
like
the head.
a bad cut?
Yeah, what's the one?
we've
Yeah.
all
Like-
given. We've all given.
But
right,
one
right.
that's
Do the-
actually bad,
Yeah.
not bad
Do
to
you
your
know what, yeah?
standards.
Put-
And do the
this way.
customers even know it's bad? Or
Put it this way, like I've accidentally like cut someone's ear here before, and it was and funny enough, it was our where we was working before in the studio in acting. He was like the caretaker, the manager of that building.
oh,
Oh.
Yeah. But it wasn't on purpose or anything. Obviously. It was an accidental one, but you know, it happens. Every barber does some. You see blood some way or another.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's one of them things. And I think I always remember this quote that one of my customers who's a chef always said to me. He goes, "You're not going to meet a single chef without burns on his arms."
Oh,
And I was just like, "Yeah, it's a good reminder that
quite
we make
nice.
mistakes."
Yeah. Not
Do you
to feel
like
too bad.
customers that come in and they're like, just do whatever with my hair?
No.
Is it?
Really?
Because
I
thought
do
the
that.
opposite. Same. I'm like, I'll let you do what.
Whatever you think.
Yeah, whatever you think is good, just do it. That's me.
Do you know the problem with that is, it's opening a can of worms, because if you really give me creative freedom, I might do something that you're really not going to like. I might love it,
Yeah.
but you might
might hate
absolutely hate it. Whereas I like when someone says to me, "This is what I want," and I said, "Okay, I'm going to
Or
give
show
you
you a
my
picture or
version."
something,
That's
yeah.
good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I had one on the weekend actually, and first time client, never seen him before, curly hair, and he was like, "Oh, do whatever you want," and then he starts saying, "Yeah, but don't go short, and keep the curls." I'm like, "But you know what you want." Yeah. That point,
Sounds like me.
you know what you want at one point, right? You know, just do what you want, but
Do what you
don't
want,
do this,
but-
this, and
Don't
that.
do, yeah,
Basically,
okay.
so you know what you want. You just,
Next time I'll come with an example.
Yeah.
Pictures.
Same, because I thought I was like, it was helping. I was being a nice customer
Yeah.
by like saying, do
Have the
whatever you
creative
want.
freedom. Be creative with my head.
Do you know what it is as well? Is the fact that where we cut someone like every hour or like constantly, and it's almost like routine, but you're also having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
When someone comes and saying, "Oh, do whatever you want," your mind just goes, because you're so used to being, "Oh yeah, two back to side,
Yeah.
skin fit," and then when someone comes in, you're like, I don't know where to begin. Like, so it's it just gets you basically.
Okay, shall we do Fast Chika?
Sure.
All right, what's fast Chika?
So, Fast Chika is a quick fire question. We basically throw in questions and you have to answer quickly.
Okay.
Like, you got 2 seconds.
But
to
actually, because
answer.
there's two of you, we'll go quick and then you go for first, Jordan. You answer first and then Troy.
Okay.
Okay. 1 second.
My mind is so blank right now.
Okay, who's going first? You go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Sinigang or adobo?
Sinigang.
Best type of fade.
Taper.
High fade.
Hello, hello, let's plan.
Hello.
Oi, let's plan.
Most underrated Filipino dish?
Dinadaran.
Yeah, dinuguan. Same.
Oh.
Same thing, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lumpia.
The blood.
Yeah. Lumpia or pancit.
Lumpia.
Lumpia.
Who's your last message from? And what does it say? Sorry.
Check your phone.
I think it was Troy, you know.
Is it? Where are you, bro?
Where you at?
bro?
Oh, no, it's the family group chat talking about a barbecue.
Oh, nice.
It was from my missus actually.
Aw.
Maybe. It says basically I was stressing like leaving her. So she's like, "Oh, we're totally fine. Take some deep breaths. Remember who you are." She's like, "We love you, Daddy. We'll have a nice dinner together. I love you. See you later."
Oh,
baby.
you're gonna have a good Sunday.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that's lovely.
Most expensive haircut you've given?
150.
Oh,
Mine's 250.
Is it? Some designer haircut.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a call-out service to a hotel.
Wow.
Mine as well.
What was yours?
Yeah, call out service.
well?
Yeah. It was, I'm not going to name drop.
Jollibee, love it or leave it.
Love
Leave
it.
Favorite Filipino superstition?
Man.
Vicks on the feet. Vicks everywhere.
Vicks on the feet. Is that a
Vicks
superstition or is it a remedy?
it's nothing.
Superstitious remedy.
I like, you know which one made me laugh? You know when they say don't step over someone that's lying down, like otherwise they won't grow up. I'm like, listen, someone forgot to step back over me because I still haven't grown.
Oh, was it me? Yeah. Where and when was your last date?
Last night, me and the missus finally got a night out. We went to go play golf at the driving range.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever been to the Greenwich Peninsula?
No, we want to go there.
You should go down there because at night time you get the skyline view and
Of
the
London,
river, and you're just hitting golf. Yeah.
Mine's just a Mother's Day date.
And then later.
Dream destination in the Philippines.
Yeah, I still want to go to Palawan. I haven't been yet.
I was going to say Palawan as well.
Best Filipino childhood memory.
Best Filipino childhood memory. Oh man.
That's not a 1 second
Johnny,
thing.
play
Your
it.
mind is going, oh, this one.
Do you know what was funny? I remember
comes on top of your head?
it's not my. It's traumatic at the same time. It's quite fun. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Pangasinan, proper out in the sticks, sleeping in a mosquito tent, and it was 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep because of the jet lag, and I heard what sounded like a group of teenage girls giggling outside, and they were giggling all night. And then when my mum finally woke up, I said, "Did you hear them laughing all last night? Who's laughing?" It's like, no.
I'll let you, boy.
She goes, I didn't hear anyone laughing. And then like I was just like, what do you mean there was people, there was no one laughing outside? Was I the only one that heard it? And then when I came out, and I said to my uncle, I said, "Did you hear the laughing last night?" "No, it's not laughing." "No, next door is a turkey farm." I did as well.
For me, do you guys? I think I saw a reel the other day actually, where it's, where you're waiting to leave a party, and all of a sudden you're lying down on 2 chairs trying to sleep. That's like reminiscent of my childhood. Basically, my parents used to go to other, their friends' house to play card games. Tongits, Pusoy Doses, Mahjong. And you used to chill out with their kids, and you became like best friends. And at the end of it, you're like, "Oh, when we going home?" All of a sudden, it's like,
you're conked out.
On the sofa. It's a summer's day. You hear the fan go.
And the karaoke is your lullaby.
You can hear them shouting in Tagalog, Ilocano. And you wake up and say, "What's that? Are we going home?" And I was like, "No, just go sleep."
I love that.
That's so
Oh,
true.
it's me again. I keep forgetting. Rice, plain or garlic?
Plain.
Garlic,
I like garlic.
Not too much.
Following burps. Oh,
It's the heartburn for me.
yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure?
What, in terms of Filipino culture or just in
Just
general?
anything.
Man, what is my guilty pleasure?
3.
Do you know
2.
what? This is not a guilty pleasure, but this is more like guilty. Like, someone left us a box of Polveron,
Oh.
and I've been yamming one every couple hours.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, I need something to eat.
Yeah.
In the barbershop,
Oh,
man,
Polveron's
there's so
nice.
much, like, people give you a lot of food.
Really?
Yeah, which is like, it's beautiful to see, like,
that's
someone owns a
nice.
restaurant or like a little stand. Oh, I've bought you some food. Always polishing it off, man.
I think
Wow.
snacking
Snacking.
is my guilty pleasure.
Okay. Last one. Who would be your dream client?
My dream client,
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao, all day long.
Really?
Man. Yeah, I would love to cut his hair because I hate his trim, and I just feel like I would.
He's your hero.
Yeah.
I
I know he is my hero. I love him,
Yeah.
but oh my god, he would go viral for the glow up. Yeah, like if I
I was
Manny.
going to say Manny, because
Manny
his
Pacquiao,
haircut
you heard it
is
here first.
it's questionable sometimes.
yeah.
It's questionable sometimes.
I actually have one question though before we
Go
go. Most famous client. Can you name?
Please do.
The Black Eyed Peas.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Apple.
all three of them.
Is it?
Wow.
You've done like Giveon as well.
I don't give you.
Is it?
Yeah, Tristan.
Really?
Tristan Thompson does it.
You did trims.
Really?
Wait, how?
Through Giveon actually.
That is
Yeah.
so
It's
cool.
insane. I
Yeah,
love
it's funny.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
celebrities
Wow.
tend to travel together.
That's
And then,
so
yeah.
We're currently doing like some football.
Yeah, we're currently doing
Oh.
footballers on a regular basis.
Who's your dream client? You never said.
He's
Oh, no, I say yeah.
Oh,
I was
Manny
I was
too.
gonna say
Oh,
it,
okay,
and then he
okay.
just shouted it out.
Yeah.
I would like to see, you know, when he's fighting, I'll be like, yo, you'd be so sick if you see him with like the maddest skin fade.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Probably move faster.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your like favorite then ultimate kind of haircut on a guy?
Do you know what? I might be outdated, but I still love doing a skin faded side parting classic, you know, like proper slick with a pomade. You know, that was like my haircut choice for my wedding, and it is
Aw.
never gonna go out of fashion for me. But like the younger generation like it a bit more textured and
Yeah.
messy
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I mean, I was gonna say like Amir's haircut at the moment. I'm doing a lot of those. And a lot of like wolf cut like bangs and
yeah.
and curtains. I've just been enjoying those
Yeah,
more.
you've been
'Cause
banging
a
them.
lot of the time-
Booking
Yeah, a lot of the times when you know we get the skin fades a lot, and you know so it's always nice to do like a nice scissored textured haircut, and you get to put your clippers down and actually think about different shapes and styling it. So I've always like enjoyed those ones. They're more therapeutic for me than because like when I'm doing the skin fades and clipper work, I'm in autopilot mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what's next for Plural, guys?
Expansion.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, can you share?
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
you can't
no,
really say anything.
Yeah,
like-
at the end of the day,
Top
we
secret.
still are in our baby stages with this shop that we've just opened up in Angel. It's double the size and team, double the size of our premises. So we need to make sure that this is getting back up to the same working standard as our original studio, which we had for 5 years. And we're focused on developing our team at the moment. They're great barbers. They're a great team that we all handpicked, but they joined us because we promised, we made it a mission of ourselves as well to bring them up to our level and the sort of things that we're doing. So we're focusing mainly on just getting Plural Studios consistent at the level that it's at right now. So yeah, and then after that, yeah, some big dreams.
Something is brewing.
We've already got things brewing, but it's not for us to say,
Watch
it's
this
too early.
Yeah,
space.
we're
Yeah.
excited.
Where can our viewers and listeners find you guys? Socials?
Socials, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your socials?
Plural Studios.
Plural
Yeah.
Studios.
Plural
we're
Studios on
we're
Instagram.
We're at 57 Chapel Market. If you ever need a haircut, anyone's welcome. You know.
Yeah.
We're
Is
there
it better to
you guys.
book in with you guys first before turning up, or can you
Booking
turn
is
Yeah,
up?
don't do
always
what Amir done.
recommended.
Just turn up. Ah, I'm here for what? Have you got a booking? It's probably our system. Our system.
But if you do, it's still like they'll find you someone.
Yeah.
Like Angelica, who's great.
And how do you book then? Is it through
Through our website,
Through your website.
through our socials on Instagram.
Pluralstudios.co.uk.
Yeah.
And then if you go to our Instagram as well, we have a booking link.
Yeah.
Or you can shoot myself or Jordan a message. Everything is found through our Instagram.
Yeah.
Jordan, plug our TikTok, bro, because I don't have TikTok.
Oh, it's just Plural Studios.
Plural.studios on
Yeah.
TikTok as well. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Oh,
guys.
Thank you for having
We've
us.
run out of
Thank
time.
you. That's gone quick.
Yeah.
That's gone really quick. Thank you so much.
Thank you
No,
so
thank
much.
you.
That was so
Thank you,
fun.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks,
We'll
guys.
definitely be.
And also-
well, I'll get John to.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
James to
your
come
guys.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, well done for the
Angel.
success as
Angel.
well.
Oh, thank you.
It's doing
Yeah.
really well.
Oh,
Really good.
and
The way
congrats
you
on
guys
this.
speak about it as well.
It's
It's
lovely.
like
So passionate
Yeah,
as
really
well. I
so
love it.
inspiring.
I love
Thank
the whole
you.
network that it builds, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
It's just true.
Yeah.
True. Barbering, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's the way forward.
That's the way forward, guys.
Yeah,
I love
please.
the barbers in Watford. It's crazy, like, we was in Ricelip for so long.